on the Positively Altered podcast, we have a unique guest who I joke is the chiropractor to the stars. More appropriately, the chiropractor to athletes, professional athletes, and the athlete within you. And we're going to talk about the chiropractic perspective, but also some really good ideas on maybe how to change some bad habits. Do you have any? I know I've got a couple bad habits I need to change, and one is going to relate back to my golf game. So if that intrigues you just a little bit, stay tuned. We're going to take a brief break and listen to a couple sponsors that are very important to me. And then we're going to be back with today's guest on the Positively Altered podcast.
Hello, my name is Heather Lord, and I am the COO of Professional Health Products. Cutting corners is an all too common practice in the dietary supplement industry. When my father founded Professional Health Products, he sourced the cleanest, most biologically active ingredients from around the globe. Today, that commitment remains, which is why the finest healthcare practitioners, like Dr. Cindy, have trusted us for more than 40 years. We oversee the entire process in our manufacturing facility, from sourcing and formulation to manufacturing and labeling. Today, we offer over 300 unique products that can be tailored to the nutritional and homeopathic needs of each individual. Most recently, we launched a proprietary genetic test, allowing our practitioners to get even more dialed in to their patients' health. To learn more about Professional Health Products, please talk to your practitioner or visit our website at phpltd.com.
Today, your life is going to be altered. I'm Dr. Cindy.
Welcome to Infinity. We have worked hard to create an electronic claims website that is simple and user-friendly. This is the public side. You can log into your personal web portal here. This is your dashboard. You can personalize it to your liking here. Our main focus has been to allow you to submit and edit claims as easy as possible. You will find our claims editor and claims processing is simple to use and straightforward. Our quick action bar is where you can find your most important information. Most of these icons will take you directly to the claims the number represents. You can easily view if you have any messages in your inbox of any unread alerts by looking for these blue numbers. To view the rest of our training videos to get the most of your Infinity experience, click this icon. We hope you find this web portal simple and easy to use. Thanks for letting us serve you.
I'm Dr. Cindy. Who wouldn't want to join me for the Positively Altered podcast? Thanks for coming back after the break. I am super excited because we are going to toast to my guest's next book called To Health With You. Doesn't that sound like a great toast? You got to hold up a healthy drink and say it together. Welcome, Dr. Nick Athens.
Thank you, Dr. Cindy. Appreciate having me on your podcast.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be so much fun. So let's just talk about the book really quickly, right? Because it sounds like a great toast.
Yeah, the book is called To Health With You. And what it's about is aging and longevity. And that's a big topic nowadays. And not too many chiropractors have written a book on aging and longevity. So I wanted to start that process. And most doctors, Dr. Peter Attia and Dr. Mark Hyman, the Means brother and sister, they've written a book on cellular health and aging longevity, but there's really not been a book by a chiropractor on aging longevity. So I wanted to write it in what you've seen in practice, and I've been in practice almost 43 years now, and what you've learned from all the people that came to see you and all their patterns and their bad habits that brought them in the office, and what came through me, I feel like this channel of information, and I create a jigsaw puzzle for the world to see, to improve their health and give them some great tips that doesn't cost a lot of money to guide them in the right direction. So as they age, you can't get time back. Time exposes your decisions. So if you can get time going forward and make those good plays going forward or good decisions going forward, then you're going to have a better health outcome as you continue to age.
So you said something really fascinating to me. When we make an appointment to go see a physician, a clinician, anybody in order to get help, we're always looking to learn something. You said something really powerful, that you actually learn from all the patients that have asked you for help.
Yeah, and you know what's amazing, Doc, is you see these patterns. Like, for instance, I was saying I got seeing all these patients. You just see what they come in with. So I saw a lot of electricians, contractors, plumbers. They used to come in when they come see me. I start 6:15 in the morning, so I start really early. So they used to come. They still come in, but they all had left hip and knee pain. I was going, how come they have left hip and knee pain? Is the way they're bending, turning, twisting at work? Then I was looking out the window one day and I saw an electrician getting out their trucks. And when they get out, they all have high trucks. And when they come out of the truck, they pound the left leg. And they pound the left leg and they pound one leg at a time. They come out of the truck one leg at a time. I go, shit, that's a pattern that they have going on. And no wonder they have this. So they got to twist both legs out of the car. They're the tight band of the outer part of the knee. They're torquing their knee. They're pounding their ankle. So you try to you correct them and then fix their bad habit and teach them and guide them in the right direction. Then you see all these conditions start getting better. And then you see how people sleep incorrectly and how they sit wrong on the couch and how they have old furniture and how they grind their teeth. And when they sleep, they put their hand next to their jaw and they torque their jaw and they wake up with headaches. And, they sleep incorrectly and their arms get tight and they have numbness and tingling. So what are these patterns? Both arms and both legs are the same age. Why is one leg side breaking down, the other one isn't? There's more stress on one side. So as a chiropractor, my job is to find those conditions, guide people to what they can do to change that bad habit, which no one taught them. It's not their fault. And then correct them. And then they stay with you for life because you figured out something nobody's figured out because the system just throws medication at them. But what's more amazing, Cindy, is all these people, when they're hurting, they're in bad mood. And why are they in a bad mood? Because the subconscious brain's job, which I talk about in the book, its job is to protect you. And everyone's looking for dopamine. They're looking for endorphins. They're looking for serotonin, oxytocin. We're all looking for this feel-good chemicals coming from the brain. Well, the brain's like this dimmer switch, and the brain's not going to put you in a good mood if you're hurting. And so people come with a bad mood, and this brain is kind of protecting you. It doesn't trust you. It thinks you're going to hurt yourself even more. So it's not going to put you in a good mood so you could hurt yourself more. What it's going to do is keep you in a bad mood while you're in pain. So now you got the double whammy, and the system throws medication at the mind and it throws medication at the body. So you have two different products being thrown. Well, how about as a chiropractor, you could fine tune the body, reboot the nervous system, and now the brain kind of raises up the dopamine and serotonin. So you fix people and get them out of pain and discomfort. It helps them mentally. So they get the 2-for-1 when they're coming in the office, which is something I talk about. You see all these people, you could actually help so many people mentally, not just physically. You help them physically, and the brain doesn't want to shut you down. It does it for a reason. So you kind of learn from all these patients and these patterns and why they're in a bad mood, and you help people with depression, and you help kids go into college. They're depressed and they can't even get good grades, and you start adjusting them and helping them. I'm not curing them. I'm just helping their body function better, much like a mechanic would for a sports car. A chiropractor is like a body mechanic who reboots the nervous system and gets the body to perform at a higher level and raising that dimmer switch, like I said, that dimmer switch analogy.
I love that. So, you start the story and I think to myself, okay, I'm an electrician. I need to move to a different country where they drive on the other side of the they drive on the other side of the road, but the steering wheel isn't on the other side of the road. So now I can't now I need a driver, right? Because I have to pound the other leg when I get out of the car to be.
So it'd be the right leg, right? So my point is,
right. So we're stuck because we're in, and listen, and I'm not an electrician, but maybe chiropractors are kind of like electricians, aren't they? So maybe I am an electrician, but we're not going to tell people to quit their jobs or their careers or their passions, right? Because they're pounding the wrong leg repeatedly, right? And I'm being a little flippant of like, now we need a driver so that we can get out of the car maybe a better way. But to your point, there's got to be a reset for all of us as humans so that we can move down this path better.
Yeah. And you teach them mentally. When people are so overwhelmed mentally, they talk more. They come in the office. They're not themselves. It's like an alien took over their body. They're so depressed. They're not themselves. The pain patterns has gotten so chronic for them. They just become a different person, and they're short on the phone. They call and make appointments. They're angry. They're upset. And then when you find you help them and you guide them to a better direction, they're so happy because nobody taught them that. And that's my point earlier, Dr. Cindy. I said doctors should be better coaches. Athletes have coaches for a reason. And you can imagine the pro sports world working with pro athletes. I've never seen a pro athlete or an athlete without a coach, and the coach guides the athlete to better performance and takes them to a level they can't get to by themselves. And I feel doctors should do that, and the system has really not given those patients healthcare guidance in the right direction. And I think the chiropractic profession should step up and start doing that. And that's my goal, to raise the profession to help, make chiropractors better. Within a year or two, I'll probably be retiring and trying to move into that direction to guide and teach chiropractors and students to how to be better to help more people. So that's my goal.
It's fascinating, right? Because you've taken care of some, we can throw out some pretty fancy names of different athletes that you've taken care of, clearly. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because I think as a population, we get so impressed by that, right? Like, okay, so let's throw out the big one, Joe Montana, right? You've been taking care of him and pictures with him.
Yeah, we did this thing on the American Chiropractor.
Right, which is, it's so cool. But at the same time, people, but I'm not a professional athlete. Yes, you are, mm-hmm. right? Yes, you are. And I think there's a disconnect between our society of this elite athlete celebrity, right? And us thinking that we don't have access to the same things, the same tools, the same treatments that they do. And really we do, right? We do, we just need to utilize them. So, share with everybody out there how we shift that mindset to thinking, okay, I'm not Joe Montana, but I'm Dr. Cindy. Why wouldn't I approach my healthcare the same way Joe Montana does?
Well, what happens is people don't have any concept of time when they're younger. So I'm 66 years old, and I see time. I see what time does to the body. Athletes have to shorten the time because they need to prepare for the field, because their bodies are their livelihood. Most people's bodies aren't their livelihood. Like, you need a pro football player. If they're hurt, they can't produce. They don't have to renegotiate their contract. They show they're injured. They have a pattern of injury, and that affects their bottom line, to get a contract. So if they're more proactive with their health, preventative wise, then the chances of them hurting themselves is much less, and they could get a better contract. They're actually making more money off their body because they're performing on a regular basis. That makes sense. So in a world for an average person, what happens is you could take that same mindset for not performing on the field, but just for your health, right? So you can't get time back. You can't be at 85 years old saying, yeah, I should start stretching. I guess I should start lifting weights. You can't get time back on the back end. You get on the front end. You could be more proactive. So what you could do is take that athletic performance, being proactive for their body so they could play on the field. Well, what's wrong with being proactive in the game of life? And so you could be active in the game of life. And you could see how these parallel each other. And if you have parallel in the game of life, then you can enjoy more time with your grandkids. You could go walking. You could go on vacation. You could have more enjoyment. You're in a better mood. I told you how pain affects your mood. So your just quality of life has gone to another level, and you can't get that time back on the back end. I talk to assisted living centers, Dr. Cindy. I go out and help them with the book because they all want to know about aging and longevity with the book. So I go over it with them, and they all want to know, what can I do to be healthier now? My knee, my back, my shoulders. Well, no one really guided them. It's not their fault. No one taught them what they can do to take care of themselves, because the system just throws products and people become health statistics. And really, we're not good. Doctors are great with acute care situations, heart attacks, broken bones, fractures, infections. I get it. I'm not against medications. But chronic illness, which is heart disease, cancer, diabetes, mental health issues, sleep issues, obesity, the stats aren't that good. You're not that good. If you're not hitting 250 to 300, you're not in the big leagues in baseball working with athletes. They send them down. They cut them. So the system keeps taking this acute care model and thinking they're really good in the chronic disease model. Well, that's where the chiropractor can step up and teach lifestyle choices. And lifestyle choices affect chronic disease. Decisions matter over time. Decisions in sports. Let's take sports. Sports can come down to one play. One play determines history. One play. Mm-hmm. The guy makes the catch. It's an historic victory. The guy drops the ball. Okay, that I have to wait till next year. So these little plays over the game matter. So let's take life. If you make these good decisions, eating right, staying off the sugar, staying off the vegetable oils, stretching, lifting weights, staying strong, you're able to move. Keep the calm mind. I talk about in the book, the mind is like a hurricane. So if you could get to the eye of the storm and not live in the outer bands of the storm, this is where your decisions are more reactive. And people live this reactive life, and their decisions aren't as efficient as living in the eye of the storm. So we talked about that a little earlier. When you get to the eye of the storm, you get a chance to reset, recalibrate, refocus, take a breath, to recenter, to go forward again. So most people live in this outer bands of these storms, and they're just reactive with their decisions. Those decisions aren't that great. And then over time, those decisions accumulate, those bad decisions. And now you have a body that's broken down that you take medications for that help slow the progression of it. And then you can't get the time back.
Right. No,
So
it's so
that's how it
true.
works. Pretty simple.
I think about, and my brain always gets going as I listen to you talk. My first thought is I actually am Joe Montana, because even though, I sign my own contract, I guess, right? Because I'm my own boss. So I sign my own contract, but I need the longevity too, because if I'm not in good shape, I can't take care of more patients. I might not make it the extra 10 years in my career, right? I'm not going to be, here for my kids like I want to be here. So in theory, I actually do have a contract I'm hoping to sign, right? With myself.
With yourself, and commit to yourself, and then use other people around you. So I talk about in the book about animals hunt in packs.
Okay.
They're all in packs for a reason, because they depend on each other for survival. If you look at geese, I talk about this in the book, geese find a V formation. They find a V formation for a reason. There's 40% less energy on their wings rather than they fly alone. And they depend on each other to get to a destination, and they peel off. So find your healthcare team, find your yoga instructor, your hiking partner, your biking partner, your Tai Chi class in the park. Sign up for yoga classes, Pilates classes, the chiropractor, the massage therapist. Have these team of people to keep you going forward. Don't depend on yourself, because the conscious brain doesn't know fantasy, perception, imagination, and reality. So we believe our own perception is accurate, and it's actually inaccurate. And that's why athletes have coaches. Coaches manage the athlete's perception. You can only imagine if coaches weren't present, they couldn't give a realistic viewpoint to the athlete, and you'd have a totally different outcome of the game if you didn't have coaches. Athletes would think they're fine. They're actually, the game is going well. And the coach says, nope, timeout, sit down. But coach, we're up by 12 points. Well, I called the timeout because you were up by 26 points, and now you're up by 12, and you're going to lose the game if you didn't sit down. So sit down and shut up. So that's the coach telling the athlete, I know what's better. I'm seeing the game from the outside in. You're caught up in the whole game. And what happens is people, when they rely on themselves, they spend time with themselves, they spend time with their own perception, their own fantasy, their own imagination, and they think that's accurate. And that's not as accurate as you think. So that's why you need these realistic voices to give you input, to guide you in a better direction, to give you a better health statistic going forward. So a good chiropractor can do that. Doctors typically just throw products at that while you go down the rabbit hole. And then the further down the rabbit hole you get, the harder it is to get out of it, right? So if you could be more proactive, and what people want, Cindy, bottom line is they want a experienced brain in a youthful body. But what happens with the experienced brain, they get older, they're not doing the right things, so they have this disconnect. Youthful brain, physical, older body. And so now they say, don't get old, don't get old, don't get old. But I'm telling you, at 66, if you take care of your body, you could have this sweet spot of youth with experience. And it's a great place to be, because you get a chance to enjoy yourself. Your health isn't keeping you back from traveling, from walking, from hiking, from doing different things, from being curious and moving forward in life. And so if you do these proactive things, life should be fun when you get older, not, a chore. And you should be able to do things if you take care of yourself. So like you said, you are Joe Montana. If you make these proactive moves, then you could just have a more fun and more activity as you age. And that's what we're all after, right?
I agree. So I want to kind of throw a couple thoughts at you, because I'd love your feedback on this, because I do believe that as humans, we do get into our own way, right? And a couple of the thoughts I have that way is the first one, and I admit I do this all the time, right? Like, I am Wonder Woman. I've got this. I don't need anybody's help, right? I can do this. So I think, one part of our challenge is that mantra, right? Because so as you say, build a team. If I need other people to help me, that's admitting I can't do this on my own, which I think is a misnomer, right? I think we still do it on our own with a team. The second part of it, which I would love your comments on, is how do we as humans make sure that we understand that the coach isn't there to criticize, but to lift up, right? Because I think a lot of us view it as criticism. I'm not doing something correct. I must be bad. I'm not good enough, right? We get these messages. that are more harmful than helpful? And how do we change our perspective to understand that it's an evaluation to allow us to facilitate change to improve what we're currently trying to do?
Well, I guess that's a good question. I feel like we're just part of nature. Humans are part of nature. So if we look at we're different than nature, right? What you said earlier was, I visualize. So the conscious brain doesn't know fantasy from reality, but you could also visualize. The brain thinks it's happening. You could manifest. The brain thinks it's happening, even though it's not. But imagine if you had that sort of power in addition to your friends coming in and their healthcare team. Now you're even more powerful. You're more powerful because you're getting better guidance to manifest in a better direction. Athletes call the eye of the storm the zone. The zone is the highest level of performance for an athlete. He's not stressed. There's 2 minutes left in the game. These plays come down to 1 or 2 plays. And the calmer you stay in that moment, the better chance of you making the pass, making the shot, whatever you need to do. So it's this, if you don't have this team and you live in your mind, you think you're actually, you're manifesting, you're visualizing. I get it. But where's your input to see how accurate that visualization and manifestation is? Who's checking? If you don't have a healthcare coach, I get it. You don't have to have a healthcare coach, but you can have a people in your life that you could go to who ask you good questions that you get say, wow, I never thought of that. They could give you a different perspective and give you guidance to become even more powerful in what you do. So, the key is raising up the dimmer switch inside you. Be better inside you. Even after 43 years, I want to be better. I'm going to learn from people. I open up my ears, 2 ears and 1 mouth. I listen. I learn to listen to people. And when you listen, you, in essence, you take that information and you could make that part of your own life to make you better. So I think the more you stay in your own brain, it's not as accurate as you think. Use other people around you. Nature, animals hunt in packs for a reason. They all depend on each other. Animals by themselves are vulnerable in nature. People by themselves are vulnerable in life. So in essence, why? Because they're not as accurate as they say, and we believe our own perception. And I feel that that's just a bad way to manage yourself. And I think you're going to have a poor healthcare statistic going forward.
Now, do you think it's also the reverse, right? So we're in pain.
Yep.
Our perception may be altered, right? Affects our neuroplasticity, our wiring.
Right.
But do you also think that people who are already there mentally, not in a good, safe, healthy space, can then facilitate more physical pain?
Yeah, because they are. So in essence, it takes about 4 to 5 weeks to change a habit. And so what happens was we create these habits and we actually think these habits are accurate because, like, for instance, my body doesn't know about alcohol, but if I give it alcohol on a regular basis, after 4 to 5 weeks, my subconscious brain is going to learn this alcohol, and then it's going to give me a craving mechanism that I can't survive without the alcohol. I need more drinks. I need more sugar. I need more tobacco, whatever you get addicted to. That's the addictive pathway. So once you start doing that, your brain thinks you need it and you lose the tug of war in your brain. People lose the tug of war to the cravings that they built up in their own brain. So they're their own, we're our own sensei in our mind. So you wouldn't want a teacher to teach your child badly in school. You'd be angry at that teacher if it wasn't teaching good information and trying to raise your kid's standard of education. Well, we do that in our own minds and we become our own sensei and we teach our minds bad things because we're not allowing other people to guide us and give us information so we could change pathway, change course to get to a better outcome. So I don't know. I find that those people emotionally in the mind, it's so hard. They've got to a point where they're so used to going down the rabbit hole. It's further. They feel like it's harder and harder to get out of the rabbit hole the further they go down. And they would lose that battle. So that's why they go into rehabilitation and they try to change the whole system with full-time coaching, full-time realistic voices, full-time ways to kind of move them in the right direction. But I'm going to tell you, Dr. Cindy, I like to golf. And What's the golf analogy I'm going to use? Well, I go to the golf simulator. The golf simulator actually shows you what your golf swing looks like. So you could see yourself and saying, okay, here's what a pro looks like, and here's you. And you say, wow, I'm really not as good as that. And then you try to change it, and then you swing like the pro does, and you think you do swing like the pro does, but you see it on the screen, it's totally inaccurate again. And you say, I'm trying to do this, but that's how hard it is to change a habit. And I'm looking at myself every time I swing And I'm getting better at it now after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, right? Seeing myself swing. But I can only imagine that in life because my perception seems like I'm doing it accurately, but I'm really not. The screen shows I'm not doing it accurately. So where's my fact check to see what I'm doing going forward? Well, I have a screen, but most people don't have a screen to see what they're doing on the outside. So a simulator is different than a golf instructor telling me what to do. Me seeing myself is a totally different look. So my point being is that's why I tell patients when they go for walks, keep your shoulders back, look at reflective mirrors, look at windows, look at mirrors when you walk by them, make sure your shoulders are back. Don't start learning to hunch. Don't curl yourself forward. All the forward activities bring us forward. Our spine doesn't absorb shock in a reverse C. It has curves for a reason. It's a shock absorber. So keep your shock absorption capacity going. So again, I'm coaching them. I'm guiding them. I'm giving them information. I'm raising their awareness. So that's why it's important to hang around people, because my job when the people come in is to make them better, raise their awareness, guide them in a better direction. And if you could do that, then you're making a change in people's health. And you're improving their mood. They're going to be more active. They feel better. And they go tell their friends. And you know what's amazing, Dr. Cindy? Now the family life is better. You help out the mom. Now she gets along better with the dad. Now they're better parents for the kids. The kids are happier because the parents are getting along. So this domino effect of helping people, when one person's out in the family, it kind of affects the whole family dynamic. So helping the whole family dynamic is very powerful. And that's why you need other people around you, because if you just rely on yourself, you're just going to go down the rabbit hole. It's tough to get out of it. So don't be afraid to have those other people in your life. It's going to make you better. Coaches make athletes better. They take an athlete to a level they can't get to by themselves. And all these athletes who perform at a championship level always give their coaches credit, and they see things on them that they didn't see on themselves, and have those other people see things in you that you could choose this healthcare team that can make you better.
You know, it's funny. So I've been playing golf for, I think this is my 4th season. I think it's the dumbest sport on the planet. I know there's going to be people who are like, Dr. Cindy. And I think it's the dumbest sport on the planet probably because I'm just not good at it, really. Let's be honest, right? I don't excel at the game of golf. But it's interesting. And I think of this analogy for me as you talk about that. A year ago, whatever it was, my boyfriend and I took him to the Houston Open for his birthday, right? And we sat on whatever hole on watching all the putts, and I'm watching all of these professional golfers who make millions and millions of dollars, right? Honing in on their sport, miss 3, 4, 5 foot putts. And I'm thinking, well, if they miss 4 foot putts, why should I be good enough, right? To think that I could. And by the way, I am going to design a golf course where there's pars 7, 8, and 9s so that I can actually be good at the sport, because this whole 3, 4, 5 thing is not working out for me at all. But it is interesting where I believe that, and I think in chiropractic, we believe this too, right? It's really not a visit and you're better. It's a lifelong journey to continue to improve, right? So I still suck at golf. I'm probably always going to suck at golf, but I'm definitely better this year than I was 4 years ago when I started, right? Because again, I take lessons. Yes, we evaluate my swing, which is horrible. And right. And even on the course, there are people where I might say, hey, what did I do wrong? Like, why did I chunk that ball? What did you see in my posture, my swing that allowed me to not have a great shot? Right. And it's this journey that I think, is so important in our field, because people just want the quick fix, right? I want to go into my chiropractor, get adjusted. I want you to make me perfect. And now I'm going to, be a better athlete or a better, whatever it is. And it's really not how it works.
Yeah, it's coaches, I've never seen a game where there's not timeouts called. And timeouts are always part of the game. So seeing the chiropractor or the massage therapist or whoever you choose to see, I'm a chiropractor. I teach people why they should get adjusted. So I have them come in for timeouts to reevaluate and send them out in the game of life. Timeout, reevaluate. And there's always something you find that they're maybe doing something incorrect. Maybe their shoes are getting older. Maybe they're still grinding their teeth. Maybe they're sleeping incorrectly. Maybe they're going back to bad habits, the way they're sitting on their old chair or their couch, or how they doing with driving and sitting there, turning their leg out and the car seat back more, and it's affecting their heel. So all these bad habits, and you get a chance to kind of reevaluate them to send them out again. But Dr. Cindy, on getting back to golf too, you mentioned golf is a sport because it's just you and the piece of equipment. Most sports in tennis, I hit the ball in the net and you get the point. So now you're feeling like, oh, I'm winning. Even though I'm playing terrible, you're winning. But in golf, okay, who hit the ball behind the tree? Oh, crap, I did. Okay, who hit the ball in the water? Crap, I did. Okay, who hit the ball out of bounds? Crap, I did. Geez, this is tough dealing with myself. And so in essence, it's tough because it challenges you, it exposes you to deal with yourself. And that's my point. So you need guidance in that to help your swing, to help you guide yourself so you could play the game better, so you could manage yourself better to have a better outcome. And take that same analogy in the healthcare world. You need someone to give you that second opinion, someone to guide you, someone that you could trust. And you go to there's these experts, these good doctors who are out there who can guide you in good directions, who have, great 5-star reviews, because the people who are in private practice, you rely on, well, I don't rely on it, but you get Yelp reviews, you get Nextdoor reviews, you get the society refers your business, and they're going to let you know if you're good or not in my world.
Right.
So in the medical world, if you're an employee at Kaiser, you don't know if the doctor is good or not. You just say, how was your Kaiser experience, right? In my world, I'm getting exposed. I have to perform. I've learned to hunt and fish in the woods. I'm not like expecting to have the fish jump in the boat going down the river. So you have to have more callous. You have to know what's going on. You have to be better. You have to give people results. You have to do a lot of things proactively, and you got to be really great at what you do in order to master your trade. And if you master your trade, then people are going to come see you, and you could guide them to better health. They'll go tell their friends, and they'll keep coming in. So there's people out there. Just don't stay in your own brain. You get in your own way when you're in your own brain, and it's not good for your health going forward. And it's not going to do you any good doing that. Eventually, you're going to have to find something, or else you're going to be out in the streets. And we don't want that. We want you to help other people in life. That's what life's about,
right?
So.
For sure. Although I do have to, I see now this golf thing is going to drive me nuts. I think it's the club's fault. It's the bad golf ball. It's the wind.
Go to
It's
the simulator. You'll really see
shot,
yourself,
Nick.
Cindy.
There's always a reason that the shot is terrible. It's not my fault, right?
No, I'm not blaming you. Just go see yourself, and then you'll see if it is your fault.
It is. Okay, it's my fault. All right, so let's do this. Give me 3 of your favorite bad habits you see in your patients, and how do we change them?
Okay, number 1, sleeping on the stomach. A lot of people sleep on their stomach, and they sleep on their side stomach. What else? They slouch on the couch, and they will cross their leg a lot. They'll sit with one leg under the other one. They'll slouch at their chair. They'll slouch on. They have a certain lazy boy chair they sit on. A lot of people go to a certain area of the couch and they sit that way. They sit on the couch, slouch with one leg under the other one, because that's what they do, because nobody told them not to do that. So I say, change that up. Sit on another area of the couch. Get a body pillow. Sleep on your side or on your back. A lot of people, they develop, what's crazy is they come in like this. This is a good story. Someone yesterday said, Doc, okay, if you have all the answers, why am I golfing? I get right elbow and wrist pain. I said, okay, do you sleep like this on your side with your wrist curled up? He goes, yeah, what would that do with it? I said, well, what happens when you're like this? You're torquing the whole arm, and that's creating tension on the tricep tendon. Now you can't glide. And as a result of that, the arm can't extend, and you're giving a lot of elbow pain. Matter of fact, I'm going to add another thing. I bet your wife sleeps on your left side. He goes, well, why'd you say that? I said, well, how long have you been married? He goes, 25 years. I said, typically, you're not going to face your wife. You're going to turn the other direction. So I bet you sleep away from your wife with your arm on the right side. He goes, oh, my God, you have a Nest Cam in my house. And I said, no, I'm just saying these are the patterns you see with people. So a lot of people have TMJ issues. Like I said, they sleep on their stomach, their hand like this. They wake up with a TMJ, a jaw issue. I told you that. So sleeping, they sit incorrectly on the couches. And another bad habit that they would have is, I feel that they just, their IT bands get tight. I find that, and I find that they think when they go out and do their activities, they're doing everything in a good postural set, and they're really not. So I haven't watched the mirrors and the windows, like I said earlier. And if they could help their posture, it's only going to help their health going forward with less arthritis, less wear and tear, because the body has to compensate over time, and it adds, calluses in the hands. If you stress your skin, it adds more bone in the spine, and they call that arthritis. So if you could prevent that, it's better off long term, so you can move better and have a more active, fun life.
I love it. All right. Before we take a quick break, I want one more great piece of advice for you. You talk about calming the mind.
Uh-huh.
how do you, what's the recommendation there? How am I getting, because mine's always going, right? I'm
Good. That's
24/7.
a great question. And that's the longevity zones, Dr. Cindy. So the people who live a long life, they have a calmer mind. You look at the blue zones, all of them, right? They have calm, they have community, and they have good food sources because they're not less reactive on food, right? So how do you calm the mind? Present time activities. The brain doesn't want to be in the moment. The brain always wants to protect you. Stress is about the past, anxiety is about the future. So the brain goes like this, going back and forth, back and forth. We've trained our brain that that's our normal. So then we're in this zone of all this stress and anxiety, and now we have more reactive decisions that are not good for our health. So you want to stay in a calmer state because your decisions are better. You're more open to listening, taking information. You're raising the awareness and to be better going forward. Present time activities, movement, laughter is really good. Getting chiropractic care helps calm the nervous system. Stretching, yoga, Pilates, sleep, right? We need good sleep. So these are calming activities. Our five senses protect us from danger. Our five senses calm us. So sunsets, music, smells, lavender, flowers, nature, body work. That's the touch part, right? And then taste. Taste is I call it in the book, the troublemaker sense. And taste, people use food to calm themselves. And so you got to teach your brain that you don't, just because it tastes good, it doesn't mean it's good for you. So eat better food choices, calms you. Use other people around you to keep you on, whether it be your diet, whether it be your plan to go forward. And there's your better statistic. So again, laughter, movement. We need movement. We need to move. That stimulates the brain. It gets the brain more dopamine. We're looking for the dopamine, endorphins, like I said earlier. We're looking for the feel-good chemicals every day. Well, you have to stimulate them by doing things to calm you and keep you in a better mood. And if you don't, you just sit on the couch, you're not going to get those chemicals, you're going to be depressed, and you're going to take medications, and you become a health statistic. It's pretty simple.
It is simple. Okay, so here's the deal. We're going to take a quick break to listen to our sponsors. So get off the couch, because if you're sitting on it, that's not good for you. Get off the couch. Go grab some lavender, stimulate that sense. Don't fall asleep yet, because it's probably the middle of the day. We still have a little bit we got to do on this podcast.
You're good.
And we are going to be right back with Dr. Nick Athens. This is your weekly dose of Dr. Cindy, the Positively Altered podcast. Stop, hit that follow button now, and spread the love with Positively Altered. Welcome back. We have Dr. Nick Athens here, chiropractor to the stars, right? Is that how you're known, Nick?
I like the way you think. Yeah, I've seen a lot of athletes. So you see, it's great to work on athletes, and over the time, you get a chance to see what they do to help improve their performance. So, and use chiropractic care as part of their journey.
I love it. And then we take that and we help everybody. It doesn't matter if if you're a stud athlete or just, anybody else who's at home and just wants to feel better. All right. This is one of my favorite parts of the podcast because I love to just ask silly questions and see what your answers are. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right, here we go. If you could make snow any color in the world except the color that it currently is, what would you change it to?
I would change it to teal.
Teal. Is that your favorite color?
No, but you just asked me a question. No, I like a light green, like my shirt. How's that?
Okay, all right. I'm actually more interested in the reason people pick the color than the color that they pick.
Okay, just for a calming effect.
Okay, which is great. I want the why underneath it, right? Not just the what.
So I like calming effect, things that calm me. Mm-hmm.
Love that. That's perfect. If you could only move from place to place by one mode of transportation, what would you pick?
One mode of transportation. I would probably use a skateboard because it gives me exercise while I'm on the. So I could use motorized skateboard. I could choose to motorize it, or I would use an e-bike because that way I could either pedal it as for exercise, or not pedal it if I don't feel like exercising.
I love that. So like, are you a longboard kind of skateboard guy?
Yeah, more longboard type, and then an e-bike too to get to another place.
Okay. I love it. I did only give you one choice, but I'm
Oh,
going to let you have two because I mean, listen, this is your world that you live in. So you
fine.
can break, you broke the rules in a very healthy
I'm
response. So I'm
feeling
going to give you
like
the
Jeopardy here, you know?
right? No, listen,
That's
this is
good.
just for fun. Just for fun. All right. What should be a breakfast food that is not?
What should be a breakfast food? Berries. I love berries, which are blueberries, antioxidants, you know, raspberries, blackberries, all good for you. You know, they have flavanols in them and they're good for fiber. And so we need more fiber in our diet because most people have compromised guts. And so as a result of that, they don't move food through them and waste products accumulate in them. And as a result, you know, over time that has effects. So, you know, they taste well, they don't spike the insulin and they're an antioxidant and they have fiber too. So that's why I think berries are a great breakfast for breakfast.
Perfect. I would agree with you. All right. Chiropractic is done. You could be a professional singer, dancer, or actor. What do you pick?
Wow. I would say singer, because again, singers, the listening sense. And I think you could reach more bodies because when people go to concerts, they hear the sound, they hear the voice. It really kind of touches them. It hits their soul. And so you could hit more people, I think, with singing because they feel better around a good song, because a good song can motivate you to work out better. A good song can calm you. A good song could do a lot of different things to your body to stimulate you inside. And I feel that a voice and song and music has a very powerful impact on the human body.
So since we truly know that chiropractic is not done, it's just getting started. I think we just found a new niche for you, Nick. You are going to be the singing chiropractor.
Do you think so?
I do. I think that everybody who walks through your door now should ask you to break out in song.
Well, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do sing karaoke.
You know what? I think there's a niche there that's virtually untapped in our space.
Thanks, huh? Well, you know, I think they'll stick around for a little bit before they leave. See how I do.
Well, that's good for you because if I open my mouth and sing, they're leaving in about 8 seconds. It's that
Well,
bad.
get good at golf first and then go to singing. How's that?
Right. So I'm going to refer all of my patients to you if they need song because I'm the wrong girl for that.
You got it. I'll try my best.
The wrong girl. They are coming your way. Dr. Nick, what was your favorite thing about doing the podcast today?
Man, sharing information to help people, give them some guidance, give them some awareness they never thought about, give them, I don't know. I think people just need more healthcare coaching from doctors than they get. And I think if you give them guidance, they can make better decisions going forward and you raise their awareness. And I think you could help more people that way. I think lifestyle is a big part of health breakdowns. And if you could give people better lifestyle choices by raising their awareness and guiding them to a better outcome, then you're doing your job as a provider. And you're changing the path, like I said earlier, to help the family dynamic and help the kids and help the uncles and the aunts and everyone, because that person's doing better and you're helping more people that way. So that's why my mantra every day is going in the office and locking in as an athlete. You know, you go in on the field and you're locking in to try to beat the other team. My job is to raise the awareness of patients when they come in to see me. Every patient's a jigsaw puzzle. I got to figure out what their bad habit is and then teach them how to guide them away from that bad habit. And if you do that and you adjust them and help them get them out of pain, help their mood, you're making change to society. You're making changes. And to me, if you're making changes, that's the ultimate compliment. And people, sending you business back and sending their friends in, their family members in, that means they trust you. You've have a proven track record, and you're producing, and you're in essence, you're trying to be a superstar in your own trade or your profession and mastering your trade. And I'm into mastery. I'm into being the best I could be every day.
I love it. So Dr. Nick Athens, where are you? How do we find you if we want to work with you, follow you, and where do we get the book To Health?
So the book is on tohealthwithyou.net. It's also on Amazon. Joe Montana, like I said, gave me a nice quote on it, right? And it's about aging and longevity, how to calm the mind, how proactively what you could do. And it doesn't really cost a lot of money. I'm just going to raise your awareness inside you. I have 5-star reviews on it on Amazon, and it's all positive, proactive aging to have less health breakdowns as you age. You could also check out the American Chiropractor, where you'll go online for that. It's, you get the article on that, on what it's like working with athletes over time. So, and also tohealthwithyou.net. Tohealthwithyou.net is the website for the book, but if you choose to go to Amazon, you can too, and it's on there. And I think you'll be really happy. I'm happy the way it came out. It took 3.5 years to write it, in addition to seeing patients. So it's hard to see patients all day long, up to 70 patients a day, 75 patients a day, in addition to writing a book. So, I had to spend time, and I wanted to make sure the 3.5 years took, I wanted to get all the information into 140 pages and see what the bad habits are, and guide people to make it. And I wanted a book that was easy to absorb, digest, and implement. 3 things: absorb, digest, and implement. And you could take these, the tips in the book, and to help change your health trajectory for the better and improve your quality of life. So that's what it's about.
It's just perfect. I know you've improved my quality of life
Great.
today, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite things about meeting guests and talking to guests is I get the benefit of some really good complimentary advice as well. And I'm going to tell you, one of the things I am not going to do tonight is sleep with my hand underneath my chin, because maybe my golf game is just going to get a tad bit better if I remove it, because I do sleep that way. I'm a side sleeper, but I don't know. It's like a cuddling thing that I like to do. So
So in the book, I talk about using a body pillow. Keep your arms away from your body. So not like this. Keep them away from your body.
all right,
The spine position to prevent wear and tear.
I'm implementing that tonight. I absolutely love it.
There you go.
If you all want to find out more about what's going on in my space, please reach out. You can send us an email at hello@drcindyspeaks.com, or go to drcindyspeaks.com to follow and join the community. We would love to have you. Dr. Nick Athens, you've absolutely been a breath of fresh air. I love the information. I love the inspiration. Let's all change our bad habits and do something great today.
Let's do it.
Just like Joe Montana, you don't become the greatest of all time if you don't make the effort and look to do something a little bit differently. I know today, I hope you have, I hope our listening audience has, but certainly here on the podcast, we have been positively altered. We hope you have left you the absolute same. Dr. Nick Athens, thank you so much for your time today.
Appreciate you having me.
You've been all great. Everybody out there, take care and become positively altered.